Are you struggling to stay consistent in real estate or feeling overwhelmed before you even start? I want to help you fix that. Let's be real. Real estate is a very vague word to describe a bunch of different strategies. And I know it could feel overwhelming because there's wholesaling, fix and flipping, there's multifamily, there's development, there's rentals, short-term, long-term, mid-term, just to name a few. And it's very easy when you get started to start chasing a bunch of shiny objects and feel like you're going nowhere. So in this video, I'm going to explain how I stay consistent and how I got started and now how I built the foundation that actually lasts and helped me close over 100 deals every single year. When I first started, I was trying to do everything. I was going direct to seller, direct to agent, trying to JV wholesale deals. I was into all the different markets, trying to work multifamily. I even tried wholesaling 100 plus units, knowing absolutely nothing. I was a nationwide wholesaler, which if you start out that way, basically means you're doing absolutely no deals. And I said yes to every single opportunity because I never wanted to let a lead pass me by. But it was chaotic. I didn't know my market. I didn't know my buyers. I didn't know the people that I needed to know in the specific markets. And I had zero systems in place. I made so many mistakes in the beginning of my journey, and I'm very happy I did because it taught me so many lessons early on and developed me into the business person that I am today. So how do you get started? What is the strategy that I utilize in order to stay consistent? Step one is pick your strategy. The very first thing you want to do is pick your strategy. Whether it's wholesaling, flipping, doing rentals, building a portfolio, buying multifamily, whatever it is, you've got to choose one strategy and commit to it. I started wholesaling because I wanted to build capital. I wanted to quit my W-2 job and start building a business. So whenever I give any examples, I'll be tying it back to wholesaling because that is the business that I wound up getting into. But the same logic as to what I'm saying with these steps applies across the board. Now, where do you start if you want to learn more about the specific field you're going down? I would say start with YouTube University. Start free. Learn as much as you can, but also don't be afraid to invest into a community or mentorship or a mastermind. But just make sure you vet the mentor. You want to make sure they're actually doing what they are teaching and they're not just teaching. My first mentor was Jamil Damji with Astro Flipping. I learned everything I needed to learn in order to begin wholesaling real estate from somebody that's actually doing it, who actually has a national franchise and isn't just teaching. From then, I also joined TTP with Brent Daniels, Sub 2 with Pace Morby, and multiple other. I spend a decent amount of money on masterminds and coaching every single year because I'm always trying to invest into the number one asset that I have, which is my mind. But being a part of these communities, wasn't just a knowledge that helped me a lot. It was the people that I was surrounded with. I was surrounded with like-minded people that were also doing the thing and that I was able to do a bunch of deals with. The connections, the insight, the support, just having the environment around me, it made a huge difference. But again, let me be clear. You need to do your due diligence. You need to vet your mentor. You don't just willingly give somebody $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to find out that they don't know what they're talking about, or they're a fraud, or they never actually did anything that they said they were going to do. Don't just join something because of the hype. Make sure it's legit, aligns with your goals, and again, that the people in charge are actually doing what they say they're doing and what they're teaching. So you pick your strategy. If you're wholesaling in Florida and you want to get more value from your dispo than just closing deals and getting paid, you're going to want to listen up because we're rolling out the EasyRes JV Rewards Ladder. This is what the ladder consists of. Starting in June 2025, after we close 3 deals together, you'll get a 15-minute one-on-one Zoom with me where we could go over anything you would like. After we close 5 deals together, you'll get a copy of your choice of either our agent outreach, MLS outreach, or direct to seller position description, which you could use to then refine and come up with a contract, use to come up with KPIs, 30, 60, 90-day training plan, etc. We use this position description to start with all documents for our hire in that role. After 10 deals together, you'll get a copy of our snippet for our acquisitions go high level pipeline, either agent or direct to seller, your choice. After 15 closed deals together, you'll get access to our acquisitions manager GPT. It's an AI tool that I personally built to help my acquisitions team throughout the day to day. And if you're the top wholesaler of the year, you'll get a 1-hour business breakdown Zoom with me where we go ahead and talk about how to help scale, go through your business, dissect it, and come up with a good game plan so you're ready to hit next year running. If you're interested in this and want to learn more, go to my Instagram, John Galan REI, and DM me the word JV. The next thing you want to do is pick your market. In the very beginning, I suggest picking one market. When I first started, like I said, I was trying to do everything. I had shiny object syndrome like crazy. I was in multiple markets chasing leads from Tampa to California to Texas to North Carolina to South Carolina. I was basically trying to wholesale anything I could get my hands on, no matter where it was. I never wanted to miss a lead. And if somebody brought me something, I tried to work it till it got closed, even if I had no idea if the numbers made sense or anything about the market. And honestly, I'm glad I made that shiny object syndrome mistake in the beginning of my career, because it taught me one of the most valuable things that I need to be successful, and that is focus. Stop trying to go nationwide in the beginning. I highly suggest focusing on one market. And one market doesn't even mean one full state. Like if you're in Florida, don't do the whole state of Florida at first. Maybe you start with just Tampa Bay, or you just start in Jacksonville, or you just start in like Orange County. Pick one major metro and go deep in that metro. Understand the county. Understand Hillsborough and Pinellas County if you're going to choose Tampa Bay. Understand Duval County if you're going to choose Jacksonville. Know the right zip codes, the good, the bad. Know the top title companies. Know the top dispo wholesalers when you're starting out. You're going to want to know the pricing, how much to make for adjustments if you go to one neighborhood from the other neighborhood. All the things about that market you're going to want to know. Markets are different. The Jacksonville market is different from the Tampa market. It's different from the Miami market. It's different from the Orlando market. And the more you know your area, the easier it is to comp, the easier it is to negotiate and close on deals. Focus brings you results. So you pick your strategy, you pick your market. Step 3 is to pick one outreach strategy and master it. When you're starting, again, focus is the key thing. I highly suggest you pick one outreach strategy and master that. Get really good at that one strategy instead of trying to get really good at every type of outreach. Are you going direct to agent, direct to seller, or are you going to focus on co-wholesaling and going direct to wholesaler? Each of these is a completely different business model and require different skill sets. They have different systems, different day-to-day operations. And when I first started, I tried to do all 3 of them. I spread myself way too thin and I was getting 0 results. Don't do what I did. Instead, pick one. And that ties it back to focus. Focus all of your energy in mastering the outreach strategy, mastering the scripts, understanding the objections, building the systems around it, and filling your pipeline with some solid leads through that channel that will actually turn into money. Now, I've heard a lot of people say, no, you got to start with building your buyers list first. Build your buyers list first. If you have a good deal, it's easy to sell. Buyers will come, all that stuff. And sure, I agree with that. If you're going to be a dispo wholesaler in the beginning and try to go direct to wholesaler. So if you are going to go direct to wholesaler, then yeah, start with building your buyers list. But if you focus on acquisitions, building your buyers list in the beginning when you have no leads, no deals, don't even know how to run numbers, don't know anything about the area, all you're doing is building a list of contacts that you're not going to reach out to for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months because you have no leads and no deals. So they're not going to remember you anyway. And so you're doing all this outreach strategy to try to build your buyers list for stuff that you don't even have to sell to buyers for anyway. So I highly suggest working with dispo wholesalers, and that's going to be step 4. These people know the market, they know the pricing, they know the buyers, they could have valuable resources that could help you, especially when you're beginning, like title companies, lenders, all that stuff. And like when I first started, I leaned heavy on solid dispo wholesalers to sell my deals. And here's why I recommend working with dispo wholesalers. They can teach you the market quickly. They'll help you understand the good zip codes versus the bad zip codes. They can help you with buy numbers and help you with underwriting deals so you learn the pricing and how to comp in the area. If you lock something up, they could help sell it. One dispo could speak to 2,000 buyers. They could help introduce you to the best title company in the area, the best contacts, have lender referrals if needed. They are a very valuable resource to you as a new acquisition wholesaler in this market. So this means that you're not, just taking guesses, shooting stuff at the dark and pricing deals incorrectly, calling a bunch of different title companies to figure out which ones are solid, which ones are not. And you're not doing it alone. Because in any business, we're not meant to do anything alone. Yeah, in a lot of businesses in the beginning, you have to wear every hat in your business. But when you're wholesaling, dispositions is not a hat you have to wear in the very beginning. When you're mastering acquisitions, you could actually basically use a disposition wholesaler to delegate dispo to. Yes, it might cost you a bigger chunk of the deal, but what's more valuable is your time at that moment, and you're spending it on dialing in your acquisition process. So ask for help, collaborate, and lean on the people that are doing volume in the market that you want to eventually dominate. And all you have to do is focus on acquisitions. Fill your pipeline, get deals, solid deals, and they'll handle the rest. Step 5, don't rush to hire. Do it all yourself first. The one thing I see a lot of people doing is they're trying to hire right away. They're just getting started, or if they get their first deal done and they're asking, hey, John, I'm thinking about hiring a VA. What should I have them do? Or who should my first hire be? I want to hire a cold caller. I want to hire somebody to call agents or send text messages to agents, maybe a virtual assistant. And my honest advice, don't start hiring after you get one deal done or after you realize you don't like making the calls. When you're starting out, you need to do your part of the business yourself first. You need to learn every part of it, how to source leads, how to comp properties, how to talk to agents or sellers, how to submit offers, how to negotiate. What is your system? What are the KPIs for success in the role? If you don't know your own processes, then how are you going to train somebody to do them for you? My personal first hire was a VA that helped me with my software process, but I only brought them on after I was doing consistent deals or getting consistent contracts, and I had tested my system for myself multiple times. I knew this system worked, and I knew the steps that you had to do in order to get the result that I wanted from the system. So before I brought them on, what did I need to do? I needed to write out the SOPs. I needed to record the Loom videos of me doing it. And I needed to let them know what the result was that I wanted to achieve at the end of the process. And that's the same thing with hiring cold callers too. It's a lot of people, especially if you're going direct to seller, I want to hire a cold caller. That's my first hire because they hate doing the cold calls. But if you don't know how to close leads, or you don't know how many calls you need to make, or you don't know how to pull the right list or what list you're even pulling, then if you have people calling leads that you don't even know how to close, what are you going to do with those leads when they get passed up to you? You're just basically spending money for somebody to hit the phones and you're not going to close the deals. You're wasting money at that point. That's why I tell people, do the work yourself first for the start of the business that you're focusing on. Build a foundation, prove it works, you get consistency with it. Then you could wind up start delegating with confidence. But trying to shortcut the process and delegating too early will only slow you down in the long run. You need to know the ins and outs of the business before you build the team. Step 6 is fall in love with the process. And to be honest with you, I think this is the most important part of how to stay consistent and get results in basically any business that you're working on. You've got to fall in love with the process. Because if you're only chasing the check, you're going to burn out. That's guaranteed. You're going to feel very frustrated every time deals don't hit, every time you have a cancellation. You'll think it's not working, and you're focused so much on the outcome. And if you don't get the outcome, you're just going to be thinking, that's it. It's not for me. And you're going to quit. And I've seen it happen time and time again. And here's the truth. The checks don't come as consistently as you would like at first. And if your only focus is, I need to get this deal done, I need to close, I need to make money, you're going to miss the whole part of the journey. And so like when I say fall in love with the process, I mean, love the calls, love the conversations, love the problem solving. Don't get annoyed every time there's problems. Fall genuinely in love with solving problems. Love analyzing properties. Look at them like they're lottery tickets. Every address you have to comp is a lottery ticket, right? Is this my potential next $10,000? Is this my potential next $10,000? Become obsessed with building the skills, learning, and then applying that learning, because applied knowledge is what's important, not passive knowledge, and growing better each day. You've got to enjoy the fact that whatever business you're in, and if it's wholesaling, that you're basically your day-to-day is just talking to people, helping people out of tough situations. Maybe work with other wholesalers, making them money, helping agents close deals. And every day is just something different. Just be grateful that you get to make these calls and you're having fun while doing it. It's all a game. And when you look at it and you gamify the day-to-day, right, you get obsessed with the conversations and, oh, when they say this, this happens. When I say this, I start getting this result. And you actually become obsessed with the process and love the game. It becomes a beautiful one that you gladly will play every single day and feel a bunch of joy doing it. So like I said, look at those phone calls. Every time you call an agent, it's like a scratch-off ticket, right? Or a lottery ticket. Like, is this my next 10,000 call? But have fun with the conversations. You really become obsessed with the process. That's when you're going to start seeing the best results. When your focus is on the skills and getting better, then the checks will come as a result of your skills growing. So if after 2 weeks, you're like, wow, look how much I grew, look how much I've learned, and how much better I've gotten as a result. That's where the fun is on the journey. Also, eliminate the ego and the greed. There's a lot of ego and greed in the wholesaling business, so you got to eliminate that. If you're doing a JV with somebody and you split 50-50, amazing. There's also some times where they're going to make more than you. Be happy for them. Don't pocket watch, right? You want to have that abundance mindset. If everybody's getting paid, you make what you need to make, great. If somebody wants to make more, don't be upset. And if you've done a deal for free, that's okay too. I've done plenty of deals for free before. And honestly, some of the most fulfilling deals that I've done have been the deals that were for free, because I knew that we help people. I helped the seller get out of the situation. I got a buyer a house, and an agent got paid their commission. If I didn't get paid on one deal, that's totally fine with me, because I was able to solve a problem. Of course, you want to get paid on deals because you're not running a not-for-profit, but there are times where this goes deeper than money. When you focus on value, relationships, and enjoying the process, along with the consistency, the money's going to follow. Detach from the outcome, and the outcomes will come. But this part, falling in love with the process, is one of the most, if not the most, important thing to staying consistent. And then step 7, track your KPIs. This is very overlooked a lot of times in the beginning. So if you're telling me I've been doing this for 3 to 4 months, I haven't gotten a deal yet, John, I've been calling for 90 days, I still don't have anything yet, no contract. My first question is, what do your numbers look like? People really underestimate how many conversations and calls it takes to get a deal, especially that first deal. And every time I ask the question, what do your numbers look like? Most people have no idea. You have to track your KPIs. KPI stands for key performance indicator. Because if you don't track your KPIs, you're not measuring what you're doing. And if you're not measuring what you're doing, you don't know where and what to adjust. Again, I get this all the time. People say, I'm not getting any traction. I'm putting into work. I'm not doing it. Okay, cool. How many people are you talking to every single day? How many offers are you submitting every single day? Are you consistent with your follow-ups? If you don't know any of the answers to those questions, you're just guessing every single day. And it's going to be very frustrating when you feel like you're putting in the work and you're not getting the results. But then if you look at the numbers and you realize I've only made 25 dials every day and I've spoken to 2 people and it's been 5 weeks, how would you expect to get results at that point? It helps you not lie to yourself when you can actually see the numbers of what you're doing. And if you don't, that's a big part of the reason why you feel stuck. You have a lack of clarity. So let me break down the KPI numbers based on the outreach methods. Direct to agent. And the numbers I'm going to give you are going to be full-time. So if you're part-time or half-time, cut it in half. 100 outreaches per day, whether that's outreach calls or outreach texts, or if you do 60 calls, 40 texts, that's 100 outreaches. You want to have 40 actual conversations per day and submit 5 offers a day. And now that doesn't mean like you're going to get that every single day, right? Every single time. There might be some days where you only talk to 25 people, but you get 10 to 15 offers out. Still a great day. What matters is your average over time. Some days will be heavier on calls. Some days will be heavier on offers. Some days will be heavier on negotiations, and your KPIs might be a little bit less, like your daily conversations might be less, your offers might be less, but you get an accepted contract because you've been negotiating on one all day. Again, that is totally fine. So you just need to know your blended average, once you break it down daily, should be 145. So just track it all. And if you feel a week go by where you're not really feeling any momentum, you can look at your data and say, okay, well, that makes sense. I was very low conversations this week. Let me pick it up next week. If you're going direct to wholesaler, which is the JV model, it's going to be Facebook DM outreach for the most part. And you want to do at least 50 outreach messages per day. Try to get 10 new addresses to comp per day, which will be 50 addresses a week that you've comped. And from those 50, you should be able to send out 5. So you should be trying to send out at least 1 deal per day. And if you're not, and you have time, that's fine. Do more outreach. Direct to seller. And I'm only talking about outbound numbers because when you first start, I highly suggest you only do outbound. I do not suggest going inbound. You don't know how to close, so you need to learn the process from cold to close. So learn the skills first by doing outbound, whether that's SMS or cold calling. So if you're doing direct to seller, I'd start by focusing on having at least 50 conversations, real conversations per day with the seller, not dials, actual conversations. Like I said, at the end of the day, whatever gets tracked gets improved. In the beginning, you might be averaging a lead every 100 conversations. Then 39 conversations, you get a lead to 25 to 20. Your conversation to lead will be lower than a VA. Why? Because you care more. You're sharper at what you were for building, and you're better at objection handling. And this also is why over time, your combo per lead goes down as well because you're getting better. Again, focusing on the skills will then improve the KPI numbers, which then will improve the results. So start simple, right? Track how many dials do you make a day? How many real conversations did you have? How many leads did those conversations produce? And how many contracts did you get from those leads? Once you know your averages, you can reverse engineer everything. And then you could set your monthly KPIs based on the amount of contracts you want to get per month. So that's why it always depends. You start off with a blended average, but then you find out what are your KPIs. If it takes me 300 conversations to get 1 contract and I want 2 contracts per month, I got to have 600 conversations every month. And if that means that I have let's just say a 50% response ratio, that means I have to do, if I want 600 convos, I got to do 1,200 modes of outreach to have 600 conversations to get 2 contracts per month. So tracking your KPIs, and then over time, you get your blended average, you could reverse engineer to figure out, based on the amount of contracts you want to get per month, what do my monthly KPIs look like to achieve that many contracts? If you had a bad week, look at your numbers. If you had a great week, look at your numbers. These patterns will tell you everything you need to know. So track those damn KPIs. So that's basically everything. Here is the quick formula to stay consistent and start building results. Pick your strategy, pick your market, pick your outreach method, fall in love with the process, track your numbers, and strengthen your mindset. All that is great, but I would say consistency part is going to be 90% of your mindset. The falling in love with the process, falling in love with the learning, with the conversations, gamifying it, having fun every single day, and genuinely enjoying it. Fall in love with the value you bring. And when you start having that fun and enjoyment, and you have the right mindset in place, the consistency will come. Detach from the check, and the checks will come. So if you've been stuck starting, or you're starting, stopping, and you feel lost, and you're not really sure what you're doing, use this roadmap. If you have questions, or you want me to go deeper on any certain topic, please leave a comment below, and I'll make sure to respond either with a video or a comment. And if this helped you, share it, save it, come back to it, watch it again, because this is how I believe you start to build a business that actually sticks and produces results.